Good day. You're welcome to another episode of Achieve Success. My name is Wale Agbola. Today, I want to share with you what I title Building Your Own Economy. Building your own economy. The economy of the world is crashing, economy of nations crashing, but I'm sure your own economy will not crash because very soon, shortly, economies of nations will be depending on individual economies. Will be depending on economies of organizations, will be depending on the economy of churches, will be depending on the economy of entrepreneurs. Many people running into politics, I want to be politician now. Very soon, the job will not be lucrative again because there's going to be a shift in the nation's economy, not only in your own country, all over the world. And what do I mean by building your own economy? What builds economy basically it depends on your gross domestic product of a nation. The gross domestic GDP of a nation determines the economic growth of each nation. That means the total produce, what they are producing in that nation for international trade or for international exchange. For example, in Nigeria, whatever we produce in Nigeria, we use it to exchange for dollars. And if you produce at the unit of 300, the dollar is about 300 to 400 to a naira. So whatever you produce at 1 naira in Nigeria is when it's going to be exchanged in the international market, is going to be exchanged for 300 to 400 naira. That means it's only entrepreneurs, it's only people that have their own economy that's going to thrive in this season, especially after the pandemic. I want you to understand that. If you are a pastor, you are listening to me. If you are an aspiring youth, you are listening to me. It's better you begin to think of building your own economy now. Listen, when the economy of nations crash, economies of individuals, certain organizations will thrive. The only way to affect it is when governments begin to bring policies that will affect individual economy. But do you know what? Government will only make policies, but you will make the money. So think about building your economy now. How do you build your economy? Number one, you must have vision. What picture of the future do you have in your mind? Where are you going with what you are doing? What exactly do you want to achieve with what you are doing? Because if you don't have vision, you are going nowhere. In one of my sessions, I taught you on the difference between vision and mission. So you must have a vision, you must have a picture of the future. You must know where you are going to, you must know what you want to achieve, you must know the goal you are setting for yourself. The second thing you must have a product. You must have a product. And in my own way, I came across something that brings up when your values are multiplied by your competence, you have a product. Value multiplied by competence gives you a product. I'm going to explain that. Your values is what are the things that are important to you, most important to you. There are things that you can't do without. It has to do with what interests you. It has to do with what brings out the best in you, and you're always glad when you are engaged or you do it or you think about them. Your competence are your areas of expertise, the areas that you are very good, that you know you are good. When you multiply your values with your competence, you have a product. And when you have a product, you have what to exchange for money, you have what to sell. I'll be back after this break.
Achieve Success with Wale Agbola. Watch the episodes on personal success, relationship success, career success and enterprise profit, leadership success on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and YouTube as he addresses critical issues affecting every aspect of human, social and spiritual development.
Welcome back. My name is Wale Agbola, your success coach. Before I went on break, I was talking on building your own economy. And I made you understand that you need to have your own product. That is, multiply your values with your competence and you have a product to sell, to engage. Now, everyone must get this straight. You must have what to exchange for value, for money in these days, especially this time after the pandemic. You must have a product that is peculiar to you that you must have to sell. If you don't have a product to sell, you sell other people's products. What it means that you depend on the economy of every other person. So building your own economy is building a product that is actually be your own brand, which is your values multiplied by your competence. Now, I want to say this to all churches and pastors watching me. I want you to listen and listen close. Your church should graduate from being a church to an institution. You must begin to build an institution, institutionalize your church now. That means you build an economy around your church. Very soon, your church is going to be a chapel in an institution. And that is what's going to happen, especially in these latter days. Let me call it the latter days, the end time. Now, your church should have an economy. The economy of a church is not dependent on tithes and offering. Even in the Bible, major projects were not done with tithes and offerings in the Bible. Tithes was given to the Levites, offerings was given has this portion and what it's supposed to do, but the buildings and major projects were not done with tithes and offering. So the economy of a church is not on tithes and offering. And when you're talking about the economy, you're talking different sectors of economy. You're talking about banking, you're talking about sports, you're talking about entertainment, industry, a lot. So everyone, every church, every pastor should be thinking of building an economy now. And every member of every church or any individual that is listening to me should think of building an economy now. Because when your economy begins to grow, or let's say the aggregate growth of economy of members or people is what determines the national growth, the gross national product, or the national growth. So if your economy, if you don't have an economy for yourself now, by building a product, you discover you become dependent in the nearest future. I was talking about pastors and churches. Listen, there are other things that you can build together that can be called paraministry. Just like we have paramilitary, paraministry. It is not a church. It is not a spiritual affair. It's actually a physical affair where you transact values. You transact value. You exchange value for money. And you discover that's when you begin to add value to the life of people and members around you. If you are not a pastor, if you are a leader of an organization and your organization does not have a product you have existed for 5 years and you don't have a product that you are coming up with, be thinking of coming up with a product. You can't continue to sell other people's product without having a product, because whatever happens to their product will determine your own productivity. So, and if they decide to stop producing, you discover that you are going out of market. And the nation we are moving, the world we are moving into right now, it is those that have products to sell that will thrive. It's not bad for you selling other people's products, but it's bad if you don't make a product out of it. I'm not saying you should copy other people's products, but you should receive inspiration to do things in such a way that you become a product, a brand yourself. So you need to do that. Now, in this age you are moving, if you are a youth, aspiring youth, and you want to succeed in life, you can't do things the way your father did this. You can't continue in the steps of your parents. I do say something. I said, I will make sure I fight poverty to the last, because I will not pass this poverty to the next generation. If my father passed jackets to me, it's a cause for me to pass it to my children. If my father sold other people's products, it's a cause for me to sell other people's products. I should make a product out of it. If you are a son or a daughter of an entrepreneur, don't depend on your family business. Make a business out of it. The only thing that will do to you, listen, let me balance in this area. The only thing it will do to you, if you are working for people, you are working for others, is that it will pass a baton to you called acumen. And when you receive the baton, is what you are going to run with for success. So get a product by multiplying your values with your competence. The question that will run through your mind now is that, what are my values? go and list 20 things that are very important to you, most important to you. Besides, before you get those 20 things, you sweat. Don't think it's not as easy as it is. So go and list 20 things that are very important to you, as in that you hold in high esteem, that are your values. Also, sit down, and if you can list up to 20 things that you are competent in, if you will get, because you may not get up to 5 or 10, your competence. So you will now sit down with your list, things that are most important to you, that you hold in high esteem, and your competence. Then you will now bring it, which one can multiply, which competence can multiply this value. You discover, you get a product. Humorously, in mathematics, multiplication is also known as product. Find a product of your competence and your value. So that's what you want to do. The moment you get a product, then the next thing is, how do I exchange my product for money or for value? Until I come your way in the next episode, I remain your success coach, Wale Agboola. Bye for now.